Welcome to the Filipino lesson for beginners. We shall continue to learn more vocabulary and sentence construction before moving on to building conversations. We shall now learn the various denominations of currency notes in Filipino peso,
20 piso,
which means 20 peso,
50 piso,
which means 50 peso,
100 piso,
which means 100 peso,
200 piso,
which means 200 peso,
500 piso,
which means 500 peso,
1,000 piso.
which means 1,000 peso.
Iyon.
Is an expression which means that. For example,
Ang tasang iyon.
which means that cup,
Ang taong iyon.
which means that person. We shall slowly move on to the conversations. This is a conversation between you and a shopkeeper. You initiated the conversation.
Kumusta po? Magkano ang halaga ng tasa?
Hello. How much does this cup cost? The shopkeeper replied with enthusiasm.
Ang tasa na ito ay 65 piso.
This cup is 65 pesos. However, you wanted to make a budget purchase and considered to find another choice. You noticed a cup at the far corner of the shop and you asked,
Magkano ang halaga ng tasa iyon?
"How much does that cup cost?" The shopkeeper responded,
Ang tasang iyon ay 55 piso.
"That cup is 55 pesos." We shall have a look at the conversation one more time.
Kumusta po? Magkano ang halaga ng tasa? Ang tasa na ito ay 65 piso. Magkano ang halaga ng tasa iyon? Ang tasang iyon ay 55 piso. Sa
Is used to refer to both in and on, depending on the context of the conversation. For example,
sa bahay,
which means in home,
sa mesa,
which means on the table,
sa kusina,
which means in the kitchen,
at
is a connecting word for expressing multiple instances, which literally translates to and. For example,
mayroon akong kaibigang Filipino at kaibigang Indian.
which means I have a Filipino friend and an Indian friend,
May computer at libro sa mesa.
which means there is a computer and book on the table.
Nasaan ang tasa ko?
Which means, where is my cup?
Ang tasa mo ay nasa kusina.
Which means, your cup is in the kitchen. Here is another conversation. This is a conversation between you and your elder sister. It was your turn to use the table for your studies. You asked your sister,
Ano ang nasa mesa?
"What is on the table?" Your sister responded,
May computer at libro sa mesa.
"There is a computer and book on the table." You arranged your things on the table and went to the kitchen to grab a cup of coffee prepared by your sister for both. You searched for your cup but could not find it. You asked your sister,
Nasaan ang tasa ko?
"Where is my cup?" Your sister realized that she forgot to serve the coffee in your favorite cup and responded,
Ang tasa mo ay nasa kusina.
"Your cup is in the kitchen." We shall have a look at the conversation one more time.
Ano ang nasa mesa? May computer at libro sa mesa. Nasaan ang tasa ko? Ang tasa mo ay nasa kusina. Sa harap ng.
Which means, in front of.
Sa harap ko.
Which means, in front of me.
Taong nasa harap.
Which means, person in front.
Ang taong nasa harap.
which means that person in front.
Siya ay nasa harap ko.
Which means he is in front of me or she is in front of me.
Yung taong nasa harap ay Adeline.
Which means that person in front is Adeline.
Sa likod ng.
Which means behind.
Sa likod ko.
Which means behind me.
Taong nasa likod.
Which means person at the back.
Yung taong nasa likod.
Which means that person at the back.
Siya ay nasa likod ko.
Which means he is behind me or she is behind me.
Kaibigan ko yung nasa likod.
Which means that person at the back is my friend. We shall conclude this lesson with another conversation. This is a conversation between you and your jogging mate. As the two of you jogged steadily, you noticed a girl who was sprinting ahead. You curiously asked,
Ano ang pangalan ng taong nasa harap?
"What is the name of the person in front?" Your friend actually met her once by chance, while visiting the hospital for a health checkup, and replied,
Ang pangalan niya ay Adeline. Nagtatrabaho siya sa ospital.
"Her name is Adeline. She works at the hospital." You turned back to see the other joggers. There was one girl who was slacking. You curiously asked,
Paano naman yung nasa likod?
"What about the person at the back?" Your friend responded,
Ang pangalan niya ay Diana. Nagtatrabaho siya sa tindahan.
"Her name is Diana. She works at the store." We shall have a look at the conversation one more time.
Ano ang pangalan ng taong nasa harap? Ang pangalan niya ay Adeline. Nagtatrabaho siya sa ospital. Paano naman yung nasa likod? Ang pangalan niya ay Diana. Nagtatrabaho siya sa tindahan.
Thank you for the patient learning. Stay tuned for more updates. If there are any doubts regarding the Filipino lesson, please feel free to ask questions in the comments section.